Little did the residents of Britain's fifth largest city know that today they were about to experience the worst flooding in 150 years. At 1:30 p.m., the River Don that runs through the heart of the city was a raging torrent, but never in living memory had it been known to actually flood. Parts of the river walkway have started to flood. There is no visible risk of the river bursting its banks yet. The river level continues to rise, starting to threaten footbridge crossings. The drainage system fails as the car park and buildings start to flood. Barely a few minutes later and the flooding at reception worsens, with the waters rising fast. There is little that can be done to prevent the inevitable. Within 10 minutes, the car park has started to sustain serious flooding. People do not move their cars immediately, then it will be soon too late to do so. The Wicker High Street is starting to sustain serious flooding, which is impacting traffic flow as they're finding it difficult to navigate the rising waters. It won't be too long before vehicles are unable to drive through the deepening water. Barely 15 minutes later, it is now too late to move cars as flooding has impacted on vehicle systems. By 2:21 p.m., water is pouring into the reception area. Those remaining in the building should go home immediately, else risk becoming stranded. 3:30 p.m. and the car park is completely flooded to a depth of up to 3 feet. The emergency services can now be seen patrolling the area in boats looking for stranded persons. Many vehicles lie abandoned throughout the flooded area. Cars are literally starting to float as the waters just keep rising. The video clearly shows that the primary reason for the flooding was failure of the drainage system, as water is flowing into the river, not from the bank into the surrounding area. Therefore, the drainage system needs to be upgraded to prevent future flooding. Royal Air Force rescue helicopters can be seen hovering over office buildings and rooftops right across the city as they airlift hundreds of stranded personnel. These rescue operations continue throughout the night. It's now 4 hours since the coverage of the flood began. Waters are rising as the river further floods neighbouring streets. In bypassing a police cordon, we managed to get onto a low-lying footbridge. The waters look set to continue to rise for several more hours, peaking at about 11 p.m. The day after, the whole area has been caked in several inches of toxic mud that will need to be cleared out at great expense. The water had risen to at least 3 feet at its peak. A sign of the force of the waters can be seen in the footpaths that were literally ripped apart and washed away, with far more damage inside the premises.